For review today, we have Souchaku Kabuto. Now, this is a part of the Souchaku Henshin series. The Souchaku Henshin series is a series where they take Kamen Riders and Metal Heroes, well, basically just Spaceship, Gavin, Chariban, and Shider, and a whole bunch of other Kamen Riders. Now, I bought Souchaku Kabuto because Kamen Rider Kabuto is my favorite Kamen Rider, and the first series that I watched all the way and finished. And these guys can be a little expensive depending on which one it is. Most of the ones that I find are around $30, which is a really good price for these guys because they're mostly made entirely out of metal. Well, now, there are other reviewers on YouTube who have done Souchaku figures, like Videos Fan has done Souchaku Saiga and Gatek. I think Ranger Scourge has done Souchaku Kamen Rider Kiva Garuru form, and Rider Strike has done Souchaku Den-O Axe form. So, basically, let's just get on to this. You're probably thinking why there's two figures in front of me. Well, this one, if you watch Kamen Rider Kabuto, then you'll know that most of the riders have two different forms, masked form and rider form. This came with two figures and a lot of little tiny accessories right here. So it came with two figures, one that's really posable and one that's like a vinyl figure right here. It's not made out of vinyl. If you have any vinyl figures, then you'll know that the only thing they can move is their arms and their waist, but this one can't move its waist. Plus his little pinhead, it's like a blackhead. Blackhead. And no, I didn't mean that to be a racist comment. And I meant to be something different. And a regular head right here. Also, if you also watch Kamen Rider Kabuto, then you'll also see that Tendo Soji doesn't take crap from anybody. In just about every episode of Kamen Rider Kabuto, he always says, grandmother said this, and so on and so on. He says in the show that he walks the path of heaven. But it's been a while since I last watched the show. Now, anyways, let's get on with the review. Henshin. Okay, now I got all the pieces on him, and I put him on the display figure, because this one can't really, well, it can't bend its legs or just basically move its feet and up its arms. I like to put the other pieces on the more posable figure, but still, I'm just going to go ahead and say this right now. I cannot think of one missing paint detail. These figures are well made, but they have little tiny pieces, so if you get these, you need to be careful not to lose them. But also, they also came with display stands. Two of them. Well, mine came with two of them. So I just, whoops. Oh yeah, another thing is that if you get like a Souchaku figure like Kabuto or Gatek, you need to be careful not to lose their belts because they can come off pretty easily. Well, the sector, that is. Japanese writing. I think that says Kamen Rider Kabuto on it. Also, you can see my camera lens. And so, anyway, cast off. Now that I have all the pieces on here, let's explain about this. Again, no missing paint detail. No, and basically made entirely out of metal. The chest plate, the legs. Also, as a good part, if you watch Kamen Rider Kabuto, then you'll see that on their palms they have like a little colored spot. So they decided to put that in here for more detail. Anyways, posability. It's got a double elbow joint, a double knee joint, Arms can move up and down. They can rotate 360 degrees. Legs can move forward, sideways a little bit, back a little bit. Even the feet can move up and down, sideways. Mid-air rider kick pose. Sorry if my hand's in the way. I gotta put him back into his regular pose. Also, here's something that I find a little humorous. If you take off his helmet, he's got a little pinhead. Tendo's got a little pinhead. He also came with the kunai gun, which can be a gun, an axe, if you pull it out, a kunai knife. Crap. Hold on one second. This helmet got a little loose. I didn't put it back on all the way. Like I said, he's got little pieces. Oh yeah, he can also move around his arm like that. You know, like this. Anyways, it's a little hard to put in the gun in gun mode. So, well, you basically get the idea. Now my favorite form of, well, mode of the kunai gun, axe mode. Gotta get him a little straighter. Looks like he's falling over a little bit. This is how I display him. Whoops. Legs aren't straight. There we go. Yeah, that's how I display him. Whoops. On his display base. So anyways, here's both of them, both mass form and rider form. Now anyways, wait, I almost forgot. Let me move these two figures out of the way, and I'll show you the box. Pretty big white box, has pictures of Kabuto and Rider in mass form. Side art, back art right here. I'm doing a rider kick. Other pictures and a lot of Japanese writing. Now then, anyways, on to ratings. I'm going to have to give this a perfect 5 out of 5 for the posability, the show accuracy, missing paint detail. So, if you're a fan of Kamen Rider, then try to find Souchaku figures of your favorite rider. I highly recommend Souchaku figures, but you need to be careful with them because you could lose small pieces. Also, if you're looking for metal heroes, basically the only ones that I've seen are the first 3 Space Sheriffs, and those are really hard to find, so you might have a hard time finding them if you're a Space Sheriff fan. So anyways, that's my review, and hopefully more Kamen Rider Souchaku figures will come sooner or later.